I'd get back with you guys. It's been a little bit. So I've got a bunch of movies out front that these are all some VHS right in here. You can see that I've recently watched. So I thought I'd give you guys just a little update, go over some movies, maybe do some like quick 30-second reviews. So the first one right off the bat, I just watched this tonight with my son. Red Dawn. What a classic. Paid $5 for this movie, and that is because this is a sealed copy. I had a copy on Blu-ray, so we watched that tonight on Blu-ray. That held up well, although like some of the special effects are not the greatest, especially when you're watching it in such high definition. Like they're shooting rockets like RPGs, and you can literally see the freaking string. So just some funny shit like that. But yeah, Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, just a classic Wolverines. But yeah, if you hadn't seen that, I would totally recommend it. It's in like a small town, like a fake town in Colorado, and like it's the Soviet Union attacks with like Venezuela or somewhere, and some South American country, I'll say. Anyway, yeah, like right off the bat, some paratroopers start coming in, and just a classic movie. And then like pretty much all out World War III kicks off, and they are the resistance. It's like a weird movie where there is no like military fight, but they are the resistance. So anyway, there's the first one. See, the next one I'll pull out here. Richard Pryor live in concert. This was an expensive one. I paid $10 for this, and it was worth it. This is one of the funniest, most raunchiest stand-up comedies I've ever seen. Richard Pryor is just absolutely hysterical in this. Like, I'll spoil it. My favorite part is where he talks about he had a monkey named Friend, and as soon as you would open the cage, Friend would just fucking run up your arm and fuck you in the ear. Just, oh my God, like that just, you can totally see it's parental advisory, explicit. So yeah, they weren't freaking kidding. But yeah, super cool. This was from 1979, and I love movies like this because, you know, I don't get out to the clubs that much. I used to go to the comedy clubs like all the time when I was young. That was like one of my favorite weekend things to do, would just go see comedy clubs or comedians at comedy clubs. But so this is like a rare treat. I paid $10 for it, but it's like what the people got, an insight into that show that they got back in 1979. And for $10, like from the comfort of your living room, just talk about a rare treat. So definitely recommend Richard Pryor live in concert. And there's cassette tapes. He's got records. There's a lot of that. The next one I'll pull out of the stack here that I've recently watched, Seven. Totally crazy movie if you haven't seen Seven. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, talking about the 7 deadly sins and 7 ways to die. And oh my God, that's a gory movie. I'll give one spoiler. There's a guy, you know, you can see gluttony, greed, sloth, envy, wrath, pride, lust. So there's all these different deadly people die by each of those ways. So like the one spoiler I'll give you is like the gluttony guy, like they made him eat fucking spaghetti until like his stomach blew open or some shit. It's it is fucking crazy. So Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, they both play like detectives, and they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on with this case. And there's like all these subtle clues. And yeah, so it's like it's a fucking crazy, what was this, 1996. So yeah, I do a little close up on the back for you. Yeah, man, look how young Morgan Freeman looks in that. But just a classic movie if you haven't seen Seven. I highly recommend it. So let's see, moving on. Recently watched Medicine Man. I don't know if anybody's seen this in the chat. I'm not seeing any comments out there. Oh, I do see Dana. What's up, Dana? Hey. So Medicine Man, Sean Connery and Lauren Bracco. Lorraine. Lorraine had been in something, and I couldn't place it. But yeah, this is like a little bit older Sean Connery in his career, and goddamn, it was good. It's basically about a scientist. He plays a scientist in the jungle, and he was looking for a cure to cancer. And so it's one of those movies like I've seen around over the years, but like I've never actually watched it. I don't want to spoil it too much, but damn, it's a good movie. He plays like a complete prick in the movie. So at first he's a very unlikable character, and then later on, as the movie goes on, you get some insight as to like his personality and why he is who he is, and like he acts the way he does. Like it all kind of clicks into place like mid movie, where you're like, oh, he's not just a prick, he's our prick. So yeah, I definitely recommend picking up a copy or streaming it, whatever. Medicine Man. So yeah, on VHS, that was freaking classic movie. And these on VHS, these movies look so great. You convert them to HDMI with an HDMI converter. So let's see. Moving on, I got Quigley Down Under. That was a freaking great movie. If you haven't seen that, Tom Selleck. In my opinion, that's Tom Selleck's best work. There's an ad that he sees that. So, like some rich guy in Australia, down under. He's looking for sharpshooters, like, and Tom Selleck sends him back like a target that's like a I don't remember, it's like a 3-shot group at like 1,000 yards, and this guy's willing to pay very handsomely. It's like in the 1800s, and so yeah, Tom Selleck travels like halfway across the world, gets down under, and goes to work for this guy that has like, I mean, just miles and miles of land. It's crazy, and it ends up being like a fight against Aboriginal tribesmen. So the guy wants to keep tribesmen off of his land, and let's see, yeah, there's the main protagonist in the movie, top right, and that turns out to be the same asshole that was in Die Hard, Hans Grubner. So yeah, it turns out Tom Selleck ain't having that, and so yeah, it's like it's a really good movie where it's like the struggle between good and evil, and Tom Selleck, like I said, he plays Quigley, and he's got this amazing, I think it's like a Sharps rifle or something he called it. It's an experimental rifle, and yeah, he can shoot out to like 1,000 yards. And there's like a scene where dude just keeps riding, finally sets this bucket down, and he just fucking offhand standing shoots it with like one shot. So if you haven't seen Quigley Down Under, I totally recommend that. They're just some iconic scenes, and like I said, just the rifle play in that. If you're into Old West movies, totally good one. And then, like I said, the the whole struggle for like good versus evil, where you got this rich guy like willing to pay to do some very unsavory things, and Tom Selleck ain't having it. Let's see, the next one I'll pull off the stack that I recently watched is Bird on a Wire, and I hadn't seen this since I was a kid, and damn, this was a good movie. Goldie Hawn, Mel Brooks, excuse me, the fuck was that guy's name? Mel Gibson. Jesus Christ, got a little old timers going there, but yeah, Mel Gibson, Goldie Hawn, fucking Goldie Hawn. I didn't realize, like, now that I'm older, I'm realizing Goldie Hawn pretty fucking smoking hot in the 90s. If you haven't seen that, you should probably watch some of these movies and you'll see what I'm talking about. But Bird on a Wire, yeah, that was like a damn good movie. She just runs into him at a gas station and had not seen him in like a decade or some shit. And it turns out that some shit went down and he's on the run. So totally cool movie. Like there's bad guys chasing him throughout the movie. So like the plot line it's pretty fucking cool, where like the shit's coming from the top and you have no idea like how deep it goes. But yeah, like there's some really iconic scenes in this movie. Like one of them, they go to this like nature preserve or some shit, or no, it's a, what the fuck do you even call it? Anyway, they go to this place and they're there's all the wild animals in there, and they start up all the fucking lights and all this animations and shit like going on, like noises and shit, and like so there's like this huge shootout at the end of the movie. Like imagine like waterfalls, and it's just a fucking cool movie where like you don't get shit like this anymore. Yeah, There's the there's the scene like they're literally like in a construction area, like crawling across like some board and shit, and it shows them like fucking 20 stories up. You can see right there like Goldie Hawn's all scantily clad, and they're like showing up her dress as she's climbing. I mean, just yeah, she had it kind of going on. Yeah, fucking like just look at the gun on the cover of that, like some super old timey cool '90s gun. But yeah, Bird on a Wire, totally recommend that. Let's see. Pulled this one out. This is Unassuming Blue Case. I found this recently, and it's an original copy of Starship Troopers. I'm doing my part. Just a fucking great movie. And I was like, why is that rated R? I haven't seen it, 25 years. That's what, a 1997 movie. So, yeah, I literally hadn't seen it for probably 25 years. I'm like, why the fuck is that a rated R movie? I go back and watch it. Was that yesterday? Oh, fuck. Let me tell you, that is like so fucking gory. The fucking aliens, the bugs that they're fighting. They're all these like creepy ass giant fucking aliens with like these huge fucking claws and shit and legs that just like tear everybody apart, like ripping heads off and chopping bodies in half. And talk about a fucking gore fest from hell. Like, but man, it was so good to see it after all this time. And like I said, the classic line, I'm doing my part. So yeah, and service equals citizenship. And so yeah, it was a good movie. It turns out this was a rental. I normally don't get rentals, and it was weird that it had no case, but I got it somewhere for like $1, and you really can't beat that. Like a lot of these movies I've gotten for like between $0.25 and $1. Now, like some of them I'll pay like $3, $5. I mean, it's honestly it's all over the place as to how much you'll pay for a VHS tape. But yeah, Starship Troopers, totally recommend that. Which brings us to Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Oh my God! If you've never seen this, this one Jim Carrey was in my opinion actually fucking funny. Like this was his best movie ever. He got paid like something crazy, like $50 million to be in this movie, and when you watch it, you can see why. Like it is just nonstop fucking laughter from like the very first scene where he's like HDS and he's got this package and he's just absolutely destroying it. And it says fragile on it. There's like an elevator fucking closing doors on it and shit. And then you got like the classic scene where he comes out of the bathroom. He's like, woo, do not go in there. He's all soaking wet because he's been fucking swimming in a shark tank. So yeah, that movie held up really, really well. It's got the detective that's not what you would think, I'll say. So yeah, he's just a character the whole time in this movie. I can see why he got paid so much. Like I said, he is just balls to the wall hilarious. So if you've never seen Ace Ventura, you gotta get out there and get you a copy of that. It's totally worth the watch. And I mean, look how nice this copy is for less than $1. Somebody probably watched it like one time and then put it away. You can just see how shiny it is. Aww. So yeah, definitely give Ace Ventura a watch. One of Jim Carrey's best. American Beauty. What a fucking creepy classic. If you've not seen American Beauty, it's Kevin Spacey and his beautiful wife, Annette Bening, in that movie. And God, she is a fucking unlovable, unfuckable, hateful bitch in that movie. And Kevin Spacey it pretty much starts off, he has like the worst life. And in a nutshell, he falls in love with like this high school girl that's 18. His daughter's like best friend, who's kind of like a little narcissistic bitch. And like I said, his wife like won't fuck him anymore. It's just his life is just falling down around itself. And he overhears the girl talking about, your dad would be pretty hot if he started working out. So next thing you know, he's like working out and smoking pot in the garage. And like he buys like a fucking classic Camaro or some shit. And basically he like reinvents himself. He quits his job, like threatens his boss. It's a fucking wild one. And in the end, guess what? He ends up not being a bad guy. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that. Like, it's a really, really good movie. Like, the whole time, it's like, there's like some cringe elements to it. And then in the end, it's like, you know what? He was actually a really good dude. It's like, So yeah, I recommend Kevin Spacey's American Beauty. It's the one I forgot. It's the one that oh, there's the hateful bitch wife and the girl that he's so enamored with. But it's the one where the dude is fucking recording through like this old school. It's like some kind of mini VHS player, and there's like a plastic bag swirling in the wind, and he's like, "It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Oh, let's see. We got a comment here. William, what's up, bud? He says VHS tapes are out there. Yes, they are. It's you don't see them very often, but when you do, it's kind of like what you see here, where it's like, dude, that guy had some VHS tapes. So yeah, I definitely recommend picking them up. I was saying earlier in the stream that you can now get on like Amazon or go to Walmart and you can get an audio video. It's a converter to HDMI. So they're really cheap. They're like $30, and you'll basically plug in like the AV cables. You got the left, right audio, so red and white, and then your yellow video cable. And you just plug this into this little device, plug that shit into the wall, and you can plug in HDMI cables directly into the back of your smart TV. So, a lot of people think this technology is like totally obsolete, and in reality, you could hook this shit up and watch it tomorrow. So that's gonna bring us to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I would say this movie held up really well, but like the turtles are just so fucking cringe, man. Like I remember this shit in my childhood, and I mean that logo right there, the FHE, like that brings back so many memories of childhood. Yeah, this is 1990, so I was extremely young. I was 8 years old when this came out. Oh, that's good. I had some Barks root beer here, but yeah, it was a great movie. It really was. Like I said, there was parts of it where it was like kind of cringe because you're watching like the Ninja Turtles. You know, that didn't exactly age well how they look in the movie and act, and they're like "Cowabunga, dude" and shit like that. But what I do remember loving about the movie was, oh, what's his name? The bad guy in the movie. Oh god, not Splinter. That was the fucking the rat. Anyway, whatever the you had the fucking ninja lair where it's like this abandoned series of warehouses, and there's kids like skateboarding on ramps, and they've got all these fucking electronics like VHS players and CD players and all this shit, and there's like arcade games, and they've got like all these like they call them flats, where it was just a flat of soda like Cokes, but think of like a case of Coke or like times infinity just stacked up in the corner. So these, and like all the kids in that movie that look like they're like between 10 and 13, they're all smoking cigarettes, and oh my god, like Casey, the dude with the hockey stick. I can't remember what his last name was, but there's the character named Casey in there that just like beats the shit out of everybody with like different sports sticks, like a cricket stick, for instance, or a cricket bat rather. So I mean, yeah, there was definitely some parts that just so iconic, and like it aged so well. But like I said, the turtles themselves did not, or is just like fucking cringe. But like everything that revolved around that movie was just so fucking good. And yeah, I paid like fucking $2 or something for this, and I thought, man, that's a steal. Like you never see Ninja Turtles, and I mean something like I said, just right out of my fucking childhood. They're like living in the sewer. Oh, Shredder, that was the guys that finally came to me as I'm wrapping this up. So yeah, Shredder. What a loser. Fargo. If you have not seen Fargo, that is a fucked up movie. It's a little bit slow, and you got to deal with like some like northern accents, like Minnesota, Montana area accents or whatever. But man, it's a fucking gory ass movie. I mean, what a trip. There's just like so much. So let's see, like the main plot to this story is this guy is in he's in like some serious financial trouble, and through like an acquaintance of his, will say, he ends up hiring a couple of guys to kidnap his wife, who comes from a very wealthy family, and he thinks he's gonna have them kidnap and ransom the wife, and he's gonna be able to pay off all of his debts. And shit just spirals completely out of control. It is not what he thought it was. I'll just say that it's like a totally gore, you know, fucking murdersome movie. And you got this pregnant lady cop the whole time that you can see right there leaning over the dead body. Like, she is like such a sweetheart, and she's like trying to unravel this mystery of like what exactly is going on here. Yeah, there's a great scene right there. Oh, what's that guy's name? Movie, let's see, by Joel and Ethan Cohen. Who the fuck was that guy's name? I'm getting old here. I'm starting to forget people's names. God, I can't. Oh, no, it's not Jim Belushi. I was almost there. Anyway, whoever the fuck that guy is, he was in a bunch of Adam Sandler movies. It's one of the few movies he was in, and this was like a no-name production company that made this. But yeah, I paid $6 for this, and this was brand new, and I had the treat of opening it myself and watching it. And I'm telling you, when you get a brand new sealed VHS copy, it is super clean. So yeah, somebody originally had this for 20. It was marked down to 10. They never watched it, and then eventually 2026 I buy it for $6. It's fucking crazy how that works. But let's see here. That brings me up next to Pulp Fiction. Surely everybody has seen Pulp Fiction by now, but if you haven't, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. And John Travolta's in it, Samuel L. Jackson's in it, fucking Bruce Willis is in it, Uma Thurman. Ving Rhames, can't forget Ving Rhames. That motherfucker gets fucked in the ass in that movie. And he plays like a mega rich boss type dude where he's like running everything. So it's like, it's real fucked up for him to go from running shit to like having a ball gag in his mouth. But yeah, it's like the classic scene where they're like, get the gimp. And they've got a dude in a leather gimp suit, very like locked up in a fucking storage chest thing. It's so creepy. But yeah, this movie is like, there's like so many stories going on at once in the movie. And they all kind of blend together because they're all parts of the same puzzle, so to speak. But when you're watching it, you're just kind of left with like a what the fuck is going on. And I have a hard time deciding either John Travolta or Samuel L. Jackson. They were both kind of my favorite characters. Like, I can't pick one of them to be like, oh yeah, like Travolta was my favorite in that, for instance, or you know, Bruce Willis was my favorite. Like, I mean, I guess if I had to pick one, I guess I'd pick Samuel L. Jackson because of the lines that he has. Yeah, there's like a classic where he's like reciting from the Bible right before this big shootout, and he's like, "And you will know that my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee," and then fucking just opens up with like a 1911 on somebody, and yeah, the guns were so fucking cool in this movie too. Like Travolta at one part, he's got this. It's like a fucking Mac 10 or some shit, or whatever the full auto version is, but it's got this fucking silencer that looks like it's like the size of your fucking forearm. And yeah, just super cool movie. If you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, it's a little fucked up. I'll give you, you know, it's definitely a rated R movie, but I mean, like I said, there's some greats in it, and they are all fucking super young. So it's one of Quentin's better movies, in my opinion. Oh, let's start over here. Rocky. Yo, Adrian. It's such a love story, but it's also like an underdog story. And I mean, if you haven't seen Rocky, I highly recommend it. Like, love Stallone, hate Stallone. Like, Rocky is like such an underdog in this movie, where you're just fucking rooting for him. You know, he's fighting against Apollo Creed, and that same actor was in Predator, the guy that gets his arm shot off by Predator, and the arm goes cartwheeling with the submachine gun as it's shooting. And man, talk about just, they were in insane shape in that movie. And yeah, it's really good to see Rocky go from like absolutely nothing to the world, or I guess he goes like more than 12 rounds with the heavyweight champion of the world. I'll spoil it with that. It is just like an amazing movie. Like how fucking crazy they beat the shit out of each other in that movie. And neither of them fucking die. Like Rocky's just like an unknown. He's not supposed to be able to go the distance with the champ, and so and like you see this blossoming love story in the in the background, basically happening between him and Adrian, where she's his butterfly, but she's so fucking shy. And as the movie progresses, like she kind of opens up a little bit more and has a personality. It becomes actually becomes more beautiful, and yeah, it's just you know you get to you get to see his trainer before the trainer died later on in the series. Mickey, old dude with like a ton of boxing experience, and talking about he wants him to be as fast as grease lightning. So yeah, just fucking iconic movie. You can see this Rocky is in just horrible shape. I didn't even watch it on VHS. I had a copy of DVD, and I was thankful to have that because I guarantee that this movie right here probably runs like shit. But I think I got it for fucking free actually from somebody, so that was very nice of them. Let's see, Dolores Claiborne. You can see this is an extremely weathered copy of Dolores Claiborne. It used to be a rental, which is always a bad sign. I hate rentals, but I try to avoid them. But when it's something like this, Kathy Bates, Dolores Claiborne, you really can't pass on that when we're talking like 50 cents or a buck. And it was something I didn't have, and I'd never seen it. And so when I saw Dolores Claiborne, originally I was like, oh, yeah. And I fucking thought of, there's a movie called Misery that Kathy Bates plays in. So yeah, I thought it was Misery. I went into it thinking it was Misery, and it is not Misery. It's Dolores Claiborne, and it's about a real fucked up story where there's like a little old lady, and just in like the first few minutes of the movie, Dolores Claiborne murders her, throws her down a flight of stairs, and so then the whole movie is like unraveling this fucking ball of yarn that's about how basically Dolores Claiborne's a piece of shit, and the whole town hates her. And she fucking murdered her husband, but she like got off scot-free. And so I don't want to spoil it too much. The movie is basically about that. And it's the rehashing of what actually happened with this old lady, what actually happened with her husband. Did she murder him type of thing? Or, does the town just, was she wrongfully accused or what? So it's definitely like a suspense / drama movie. As you can see, they've got it here. But damn, it was a good movie. It really was. It was one of those movies where you sit there and watch it all the way through, going, "What the fuck's going to happen next?" And but you can see how weathered this copy was. Like it must have sat in the window or some shit of this place for a long time, because the back still looks relatively nice, but the front is just so weathered. Well, when I watched this movie, the first 20-30 minutes of it, I swear, was in black and white. And I was like, I didn't know this was a black and white movie. I mean, the back doesn't show it being a black and white movie, obviously. And then at some point, it straight up switched over to color, which I've never seen that on a VHS. That tells me this copy was really fucked up. But it did play all the way through, and I'm thankful for that. So wrapping up, I would recommend Dolores Claiborne. Like I said, it's a little bit slow, but it's one of those movies, it comes full circle in the end. We're like, okay, this was actually a really good movie. Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up. Look at that. Remember those guys? Would always review movies back in the day. But let's see, that brings us to Bruce Willis and Last Man Standing. Take a drink here. Oh yeah, Barks root beer, that's good. But Bruce Willis and Last Man Standing, it's like a gangster, I don't even know if it's it must be around the 1920s, honestly, because the 1911 wasn't created until 1910, 1911-ish, by that John Browning. So anyways, you can see all the cars, 20s gangsters cars. I mean, they've got Tommy guns and shit in the photo. And yeah, that is a really good movie. There's a little bit of an over embellishment as to how powerful the 45 ACP is in that movie, but love it or hate it, it's still a good movie. It's a crazy kind of it's like a murder for hire type mystery where he goes into the small town and he's kind of working both gangs at the same time. So let's see here. It says on the cover, in a town with no justice, there's only one law, every man for himself. So yeah, he is the last man standing. You know, there's some few beautiful like 20s looking women in it. And like I said, it's cool. He's got these fucking shoulder holsters with like dual 1911s. So it's like one of those movies, like a total action, like action movie where he is the shooter. And, you know, it's got the 20s vibe to it. Like I said, there's all this like gangster mafia shit happening in the background. And, but like the town is like this, like Dust Bowl era town. So yeah, it's in like, yeah, like the cover said, there really is no law in that town. It's just kind of a free for all. Like you know, he just like murders people willy nilly on the street for fucking pissing him off. And so yeah, it's one of those relatively unknowns. But I would totally recommend Last Man Standing. It was quite a treat. Like, and you can see he's like a relatively young man in his career in this. So let's see, this was made in 97. So yeah, relatively young in his career still. I'm gonna say this is after Die Hard probably. But yeah, totally would recommend Last Man Standing. Let's pull this one out. Just Cause. This was a fucked up movie. I actually had a copy on Laserdisc, and I watched it on Laserdisc, so I didn't actually watch this VHS copy. That ends up happening a lot, where I'll have it on more than one format, but I was like, oh, wow, this says Sean Connery and Lawrence Fishburne in it. And if you're not familiar with Fishburne, that's the guy from, you know, The Matrix. He was in the John Wick movies as the King. And, you know, of course, Sean Connery in it. Sean Connery, once again, he's like a little bit older in his career. You know, past the James Bond series, obviously. This is a 1995 copy. You know, it's the Warner Brother hits. But originally, this movie came out in like, oh God, like 1986 or something. So it's definitely an older movie, one of the older movies I've watched recently. Maybe a little bit older than Rocky, honestly. Or maybe Rocky's older. I think Rocky might have been 1979 now that I'm saying that. But, 1976. So anyway, Just Cause is like 1986, somewhere in there. And it's about this murder that took place in the, like the bayous of Louisiana or someplace. And unfortunately, there was like a child slaying. And so the man that was accused of murdering this child, he seems like he's clearly innocent. And it seems like he got a bad rap, and he was forced into a confession. And Sean Connery plays this, like, I guess like a retired lawyer. He's kind of like a professor now. And so he's like teaching law students and giving seminars and shit. And long story short, he gets thrown into the mix to try to exonerate this guy who supposedly is innocent. And it turns out Lawrence Fishburne is like the sheriff in that area. And he plays kind of a fucking psycho cop. And it's a pretty fucking wild ride. Like one of those ones where I was honestly surprised. Because I think the Laserdisc, I only paid $1 for it. And that's like unheard of for a Laserdisc. So I was going into this expecting a fucking shitty movie where I was going to like, I thought I was going to have to turn it off or something. It was going to be bad. But I was like, you know what? I'm curious. I want to take a chance. And typically I don't read anything on the boxes before I'll just look and be like, oh, Just Cause. Huh. Like, see, you know, Lawrence Fishburne and Sean Connery. Like, well, I like both their work. Why not? And I'll try it. Because I like to go into movies like totally just like fresh, where you don't know what the fuck is going on and the story tells itself. Like, I find it kind of spoiler alerts if you read the back of the box first. But yeah, talk about like an edge of your fucking seat like type movie where like the whole time from beginning to end, like it starts off a little bit slow, but just a little ways in, I mean, man, it's fucking crazy. It just got you on a roll where you're like, you don't know what the fuck is going on. Like one minute you're thinking this person did it, another minute you're thinking somebody else did it, and like so it's a murder mystery. You're just trying to figure out as you're watching it who murdered this poor innocent child. And man, just a fucked up movie. So highly recommend that. A lot of people have not seen Just Cause, but there's an image of the back. Yeah, this is the guy that was accused, and he plays a very well educated fella. I will say that. And so yeah, it's just a fucked up movie. I totally recommend it. A lot of these movies are pretty fucked up now that I'm realizing that. Let's see. Let's go with one not fucked up. Bulletproof. Fucking super old Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler movie. And it says their friendship could survive anything except each other. And yeah, it looks like a child is drawn on this one with like a marker or some shit back in the day. It's funny how often you see that stuff. I guess this one was $1. Who knows if I actually paid $1 for it, but it claims it was $1. So anyway, yeah, they let's see, Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans. They start off as like criminals in the beginning of the movie, and you find out that Wayans is like an undercover cop, and it's just a fucking hilarious movie. Like, there's so many iconic lines in that. Like, there's one where Adam Sandler's talking about, he's like, you can tell this is a 70s porn. You know how you can tell? Because the guy's dick has sideburns. Just fucking hilarious shit like that, where he was just, I mean, I don't know, he was a great, they were both great comedians back in the day, and I don't want to give away too much of the storyline, but basically, yeah, they're both in this, like, working for a bad guy, like a crime boss, so to speak, and I guess Wayans is like trying to fucking capture he's trying to get the evidence to take down this boss. And Adam Sandler's like his best friend and like doesn't really know what's going on. And yeah, it's a crazy movie where you can see on the cover, like at some point pretty quickly, he figures out that Wayans is a fucking cop and he's not his best friend and he's been totally rickrolled. And it's hilarious. Like all the shit that takes place in this movie. So yeah, if you have not seen Bulletproof, totally go for it. You really can't go wrong, especially if you pay $1 for it. You will not be disappointed. Okay, back to fucked up movies that we like to watch. Hannibal. This is like the second part of Silence of the Lambs. Excuse me. Anthony Hopkins, Julianne Moore, and who is that prick right there? I can't think of the guy's name. Does it even say who the fuck's in this? Can't think of his name off the... Ray Liotta. There you go. I should have fucking known Ray Liotta. But yeah, Ray Liotta's in this. And so it's... if you don't know, I'll spoil it. During Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter escapes. And he fucking... he chukes and jives the powers that be. And he's like on the fucking run. And the movie just kind of ends where you're like, oops, they fucking let out a psychopath. Well, this one is all about catching back up to Hannibal Lecter. And, my God, talk about another gore fest. I don't want to ruin too much of it because, if you're going to go in and see this, I want you to be as surprised as I was when you watch it. But fuck, there was some fucked up, just some of the things he does. And he just plays a brilliant serial killer, so to speak. And he's a cannibal. So it's funny, he's Hannibal the Cannibal. And my God, so it's like there's this whole creepy, like, is he about to murder you? Is he going to murder you and eat you? Like, there's just like some really weird vibes going on in this movie. And there's like a fucking millionaire or a billionaire that I guess in Hannibal's like past, he had attacked. We'll say that. I'll leave it at that. He had done something horrible to this man. And so now this guy's very wealthy and he wants his revenge and he's willing to pay greatly for this revenge. And so he's got people after Hannibal to like, bring him in. And yeah, we'll just say Hannibal's fucking brilliant in this movie. So think of like just like a diabolical mastermind fucking like, you think you're a step ahead of this guy and he's like fucking clearly 10 steps ahead of everybody in the movie. So it's fucking creepy. I mean, just look how fucking creepy his face looks in that. Just, so yeah, if you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs. Hello, Clarice. Totally watched that. Back to something light. Kindergarten Cop. I watched this with my kids, and Kindergarten Cop's a great movie. Schwarzenegger, he plays a cop in this one, and he's like undercover, and they're like chasing after a killer, and they think they've tracked down like his wife and child, and this killer's on the run. So they go undercover, him and his partner, and it's supposed to be his partner is going to be the kindergarten teacher, and at the last second, he gets thrust into the job. And it's funny to think like, man, these little kids are probably fucking older than me now. But it's the classic one where the little kid, right here between his legs, he has like the funniest line still to this day. He's like, "Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina." Like, you shouldn't know that in kindergarten. God, it's a PG-13 movie, and it's very lighthearted. I like in this scene he kind of like had fucking Terminator vibes, because this is like fresh off of probably T2 or right in that era. It's 1990, and man, talk about it like just a lighthearted comedy with some action. Yeah, it says an undercover cop in a class by himself. So it was a good movie, and it's so fun to watch these old like lighthearted comedies or whatever with my kids. Like the Ace Ventura, when I watched that with my kids, like they were just laughing their asses off. Or like they admitted that was probably one of the best movies they have ever seen. But yeah, Kindergarten Cop. Like I said, it's a lighthearted comedy. So if you like to laugh, and it doesn't need to be like racy or anything, like too raunchy or whatever. Like, I totally recommend Kindergarten Cop, because like there's some really fun scenes, and like Schwarzenegger plays like such a good teacher in this, where he's kind of like a drill instructor a little bit to these little kids, and like they are totally crazy little kids, and before you know it, like he's got them like marching and doing everything he's asked. And so yeah, he plays like a great cop and a great kindergarten teacher in this. So highly recommend Kindergarten Teacher, or Kindergarten Cop. Kindergarten Teacher. Fucking Changing Lanes. Let's talk about this fucking piece of shit movie. It was fucking horrible. Like, once again, I probably paid $1 for this, but oh, there you go. I paid $2 for this. So I paid fucking $2 for this piece of shit movie. I thought, man, it's rated R. You can see that right there. So this was a rental, but I was like, man, I've never seen it. It's got Ben Affleck and Samuel L. Jackson in it, and I think I looked over the back a little bit. Let's see. Modern society draws lines between right and wrong, good and evil, rage and redemption. A moment of self-absorption and a spark of anger will cause two men to cross them. As the battle of wills escalates, both lives are changed forever. Dude, this fucking movie sucks. Ben Affleck plays like a high-powered lawyer. Samuel L. Jackson plays a man like fighting for his children. It's just, I don't know. There was like a lot of shit in it I did not like. There was like a lot of like racist undertones, and it was just not a good movie. Like Ben Affleck plays like a total piece of crap, where like he basically leaves Samuel L. Jackson high and dry in this movie. And so then after that, Samuel L. Jackson has like the opportunity for revenge. And so he kind of goes off the deep end and fully takes it. But then at the same time, like Ben Affleck keeps retaliating. And so it's kind of this like cat and mouse game of like, dude, just fucking let it go. And what'll be. And the other guy's just kind of like, maybe I should turn the fucking cheek. And the whole movie is like that, where it's just this fucking cat and mouse game of like, who's going to do something worse to each other next. But honestly, it was not exciting. I mean, it's considered a thriller, and it was just not fucking good. Yeah, like not enough people died in the story, I guess. I don't know. It was just not a fucking good movie. I do not recommend it, so I'm gonna give this a fucking thumbs down. Fucking shit on that movie. Batman. The original OG Batman movie of my childhood. Tried to watch this with my children. What year was this? 1989. So yeah, don't recommend Batman unless you're just going to watch it for the nostalgia of it, because That did not age well. I'm a big fan of like the newer Christian Bale Batman movies, the Dark Knight series. Like he played, in my opinion, the best Batman, like the darkest Batman ever. Of course, the action was there. We had the special effects, the all the gadgets, and the vehicles. Everything was there. Go back to the Michael Keaton ones, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be really cool. Nope, it was fucking really sad to where I was like, man, I don't. I'm just not that. I'm not into the original Batman, which is weird because, like I said, it's from my childhood. You'd think it'd be something I'm. But I guess just like Ninja Turtles, like in my opinion, Batman did not age well. Like even the car is not cool. The car has just got kind of this weird. It's almost like the size of a fucking limo. I mean, it makes sense. Like it had a jet engine in this car, so there is some cool aspects, and like don't get me wrong. Like Michael Keaton's acting is good, and what Nicholas or Jack Nicholson, excuse me, he's in it, and so he plays a good Joker. But at the same time, like it did not age well for me. Like, and I think it's probably just because I'm just too big of a fan of the newer Dark Knight series of movies, and like I wish Christian Bale had been like a better, a better actor and like better on the scene for everybody to work with. Because from what I heard, like he was just such a fucking nightmare to work with and just an asshole and like so overpaid and just probably a fucking drama queen and everything else that they couldn't make any more Batman movies, and that's so unfortunate because that was such a great series. But as far as Batman, that's kind of like a fucking middle of the road. Like I can't quite thumbs down it because, like I said, the acting really was well done in this. Like Joker was good. You get to learn like the origin of the Joker, and so like there's some really cool shit going on in this movie. But at the same time, like I said, I don't know, like some of the parts were just like a huge letdown, like the vehicles and stuff. So, but yeah, that is super cool. Oh, there you go. There's Nicholson right there, looking fucking crazy, Jack. Let's see, what do we got here? The Postman. How about we pull out the Postman? If you've not seen the Postman, highly recommend it. Give the Postman a watch. Kevin Costner. Let's see, right on the screen. Or on the cover, excuse me, you can see all these men on horseback. So there is essentially like some kind of a militia in this movie. And let's see, it's funny to think that the post-apocalypse happened in the past, and in this movie it's the future, and it's 2013. So you get what I'm saying? So it's like, it was 13 years ago, but whatever. We'll roll with it. So it's 2013. War has crippled the earth. Technology has been erased. Our only hope is an unlikely hero, and that hero is going to be Kevin Costner. And so there's, like I said, there's like this weird militia, militant group or whatever, and they are like recruiting. They're not even really recruiting. They are taking all like the military age men, or basically all the men, excuse me, in America. Like they'll just stop by your little small town, where you barricaded up and you're just trying to survive and like hunt and, grow some crops or whatever. They show up, they demand like half your shit so that they don't just like steamroll your town over. And then they take all the men, like basically from like the children all the way up to like the elderly men. And it's all to like support, their little militia effort, which is just a growing, roving band of assholes. And, Kevin Costner ends up like thrust into the middle of it, and he doesn't want to be a part of it, and he ends up being on the run, and he ends up going down, and like it's storming its ass off at one part, and all of a sudden like he flies down this fucking ditch that's all rained out. It's basically like a water slide. He ends up at the bottom all fucking soaked, and what does he find? A mail carrier vehicle turned upside down with the postman still inside of it, like a fucking skeleton, still dressed in uniform. So it's like, he finds that, he takes shelter for the night, and while he's in there, he finds a mailbag. And it turns out that, that was a local mailman, and guess what? Those towns are still around, so he fucking delivers the mail, but he also does it under, like, the guise of he is the postman now, and that, like, America's being rebuilt and shit, and it's a good movie. Like I said, it's post-apocalypse. So it's got some cool like vibes to it. But like I said, he plays kind of a good guy, but he's like I said, he's doing the shit for like he's got the wrong intent, I guess I would say. You know what I mean? He plays like a good character, but he's doing some pretty shady shit, pretending to be the postman. But it's inspiring people, and everybody's kind of got that like I'm doing my part, vibe to it. So anyway, I highly recommend Postman. Let's see, what year was this? 1997. There's kind of a trend there. I like 90s movies, but yeah, a little bit of a love story aspect to it, and so yeah, it's supposed to be a future. It says there's no highways, no highways, no dreams of a better tomorrow. Only scattered bands of terrorized survivors in what was once called the United States. But yeah, totally recommend The Postman if you have not seen it. So yeah, I tend to like Kevin Costner's movies. I mean, anything from like Field of Dreams. Oh, I can't think of any off the top of my head right this second. But yeah, let's have some more root beer. Barks is definitely pretty good. I think Barks is one of the cheaper root beers. The Fugitive. This was one of the ones I easily paid $5 for this movie. I think I bought this off of eBay. If it's in plastic, that typically means I bought it from a reseller. But this is another one. Let's see, I had a copy of it on Laserdisc, and I tried to watch it, and my God, the Laserdisc, it had some minor scratches to it, and it wouldn't play all the way through. It got to like chapter 10 or whatever, and wouldn't play. And I was very thankful that I did have a copy of this on VHS, because I popped in the copy of VHS, fast forwarded, to where I wasn't in the story, and continued it from there. Yeah, I had not seen this movie in easily probably 30 years. Let's see, this was 1993, so yeah. Harrison Ford, I mean, it's a little bit slow, but it's about, he has a murdered wife. Let's see, it says a murdered wife, a one-armed man, an obsessed detective, and the chase begins. So Harrison Ford, he plays Richard Kimball, and he's like a well-to-do. I think he's like a surgeon in that movie. Yeah, he's a surgeon, and there's a series of events. He comes home, and his wife has been murdered, and basically all signs point to like he murdered his own wife. And obviously he knows the truth that he didn't fucking murder her. And in the movie, like, obviously to be a physician or a surgeon, you've got to be pretty bright. And so he takes it upon himself. Like circumstances arise, he's able to escape. And he takes it upon himself to try to solve the case of like who fucking murdered his wife. And the whole time, Tommy Lee Jones and the other detectives, what are they? I can't remember what agency. It's been a month or two back now, but anyway, they are chasing after him, and my God, it's just such a great movie. Like I said, I had not seen this in probably 30 years, and I highly recommend The Fugitive. I just can't recommend it enough. It's one of those movies where you're just on a wild ride, and I feel like most people have probably seen The Fugitive, but if you haven't, I would totally recommend it. So let's see here. Get you a little backside action there. But yeah, totally recommend The Fugitive. It was a cool movie. It was cool to rewatch that. Die Hard. I like Bruce Willis. You can tell if you've been watching this that I'm into Bruce Willis movies. He was a good actor back in the day. And let's see, this is 1989. So yeah, this was one of his earlier movies. 40 Stories of Sheer Adventure. The fucking Nakatomi Towers. But yeah, if you haven't seen Die Hard, I totally recommend it. It's by far in my opinion, it's the best Die Hard movie out of all the Die Hard movies. But it's a Christmas movie because it was definitely set at Christmas. He goes to a Christmas party with we'll say it's his estranged wife. So he has a wife and children. They're kind of separated, and he's coming into town to like go meet his wife. And next thing you know, there's like a fucking robbery slash terrorist attack happening at Nakatomi Towers, and he ends up being like thrust in the middle of it. Nobody knows that he's playing Detective John McClane from like New York City or some shit, and nobody at first nobody knows he's there, and then at some point his presence is definitely known, and so it's just a fucking great movie. Hans Gruber, the bad guy. Like there's one scene where like he plays an American for like an American accent, and he's like, Bruce Willis has to like kind of see through the bullshit of his accent and stuff, and it's a really good movie. The dad from Family Matters was in it. He plays a cop in it. If you're familiar with Family Matters, but yeah, Die Hard is definitely on my list of like some of the greatest movies ever. Let's see. High above the city of L.A., a team of terrorists has seized a building, taken hostage, and declared war. But one man has managed to escape detention. Oh, excuse me, detection, if I could fucking read. An off-duty cop. He's alone, tired, and the only chance anyone has. Yeah, there's a fucking coked out asshole in this movie that, like, he thinks he's going to negotiate and, like, ultimately, like, bring John McClane in. Like everybody's gonna get out of trouble, and he just absolutely like he's the most hated character in my like I hate him in that movie more than Hans Gruber. So at least Hans Gruber, like that character made sense. This guy's just like a fucking coked out narcissist. But like I said, Bruce Willis, he's like fucking walking on glass and like fucking shooting people with like a Beretta 92 and shit. I mean, just super cool movie. And there's like a huge debate is that a Christmas movie or not? Conan the Barbarian. Recently watched that. Oh my god, that is one of my all-time top favorite movies right there. Honestly, he in the very beginning of the movie, this fucking cult comes in, and his father's teaching him about the power of steel, and like their god is named Crom, and like this crazy fucking murderous cult, like satanic cult, comes in. Basically butchers everybody in his village. He's just a young boy. They take him and all the other young children and they enslave them. And so next thing you know, many years later, he gets sold out of he basically gets sold from one slaver to another. And he becomes a prize fighter, think of like a gladiator. And so basically during this time, he's went from a child, like an innocent child, to now his parents, his whole village have been murdered. Then they make him do this fucking menial labor exercise shit where he's like pushing this fucking cog like a fucking animal, for like, it looks like 20 years in the movie or something. Maybe it was less, maybe it was 10 years, whatever. So he goes from being a child to like roided out Schwarzenegger giant. And then there's like two strikes right there where it's like, okay, he was an innocent child. You fucking murdered his family and his village. Then you built his body up to the size of like, now he's basically an ox. And then they fuck up again and they sell him to a slaver that just like fights these guys like as gladiators. So now you've made him very fucking lethal as well. And he, of course, becomes really fucking good as a gladiator. And so then he gets additional training. And at some point, he wins his freedom, and the slaver lets him go. And he ends up being on the run. And all of a sudden, he finds this magical like cave inside this little pile of like what looks like boulders, basically this little mini hill. And he ends up inside of it. Gets like a torch lit or some shit. And all of a sudden, he thinks it's like he found Crom, like his god from the beginning that his father told him about. Where like basically Crom had like the power of steel, and that there's like this really cool mystical story going on in it that his father was talking about Crom and the gods and like the power of steel, and somehow on the battlefield they fucked up and they left the steel on the battlefield, so like mankind inherited this steel. So anyway, then from there Arnold Schwarzenegger is like out on this fucking crazy adventure to find the fucking crazy murderous satanic cult that killed his like his entire village or whatever. And yeah, it's just I don't really spoil too much of it. I cannot recommend Conan the Barbarian enough. It is one of my all-time favorite movies. This lady right here, she is super hot. They're little cartoon versions of themselves. But yeah, you can see her right there. If it'll focus. Hot bitch Ward goes to. But yeah, definitely a rated R movie. I mean, fuck. And it's a long movie, 2 hours, 8 minutes. Let's see. Through the history of mankind, the times that are most recorded in mythology and song are those of great deeds and fantastic adventures. Such a time was the Hyborian age. Such a tale is the story of Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, just a fucking great movie. I cannot say enough good things about this. Go out, get you a copy of this and watch it. Like ASAP. Let me know how much you loved it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I watched that with my kids. And that aged really well. It's still a great movie to this day. That fucking Ferrari in there, the California edition Ferrari. My God, that was an expensive car that they destroyed in that movie. But I love some of the lines in that, like Cameron's describing that car and his dad's relationship, where he's like, he loves that car more than life itself. He just waxes it with a baby diaper. But my God, it's just such a great movie where he skips school, and he's got Ed Rooney, the fucking principal, after him, and he picks up his girlfriend. Matthew Broderick does. He picks up his girlfriend and his best friend. They fucking go to New York City and just have like an incredible day. And just like so much funny stuff happens in this movie. Let's see here. Ferris Bueller, larger than life, blessed with a magical sense of serendipity. He's a model for all those who take themselves too seriously. A guy who knows the value of a day off. And I mean, ain't that fucking right? Yeah, everybody deserves a day off. So this is a great day off movie. And just like a cult classic where, you've got like the teacher, Bueller. Totally recommend that. And yeah, that's one that I'd paid easily $5 for. But man, that's a nice copy too. Let's see. Moving along, I got another comedy here. Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor. This was definitely a rated R comedy. Let's see here. Yep, rated R comedy. And you can see like their old timey, like, yeah, it's like 19 teens era or somewhere right in there. Let's see, he's quick with a quip, quick with a gun, quick with a scheme to keep mobsters from muscling in on him in the 30s Harlem hotspot, Club Sugar Ray. So yeah, there you go. Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. This is the 1930s, like during Prohibition. And they've got this like, it's mostly like an all-black nightclub where, a speakeasy and a club and all that. And it's kind of on the border of like a comedy and a gangster movie. And I would say it kind of leans more towards a gangster movie, but there's like a lot of funny shit that does happen in the movie. And yeah, I want to say that this was like one of Eddie Murphy's like big breaks. Let's see, what year was this? 1990. So I take that back, because this was probably after he got famous in Beverly Hills Cop. But yeah, I had not seen it before, and I was thoroughly surprised. It was a great movie, so I would highly recommend Harlem Nights. Let's see. Back to the fucked up movies I like to watch. Basic Instinct. If you have not seen this, Sharon Stone and Michael Douglas. This is a brutal murder, a brilliant killer, and a cop who can't resist the danger. And the danger that we're talking about is like Sharon Stone. Like she's pretty fucking sexy in this movie. I mean, I can't lie. I find like a lot of these actresses from the 90s movies like very attractive women. It's just a different breed of women back then. But Sharon Stone, she plays the girlfriend of like a now deceased like rock and roller, and he was a millionaire, and so she's like living in his mansion. She's got like his luxury cars, like he had He had these super cool cars called Lotus. And if you've never seen a Lotus, you should totally look it up. Like the Lotus was like a beautiful car. But yeah, it's one of those ones. It's a very like sexually erotic type movie mixed with like a lot of like gruesome type shit going on and like a lot of like murder mystery shit where you really it leaves you questioning like what the fuck is going on in this movie? Like is Sharon Stone the killer? Like did she kill the rock star? Who's she gonna kill next? So yeah, it's a really good movie. And there's like this is the one, if you're not familiar with the iconic scene where she's being interrogated and she lights up a cigarette and they're like, oh, ma'am, you can't smoke in here. And she goes, what are you gonna do? Arrest me? And they're like, so she just fucking smokes inside this police station. And then next thing you know, she's sitting there in this like little white mini skirt looking thing. She uncrosses her legs are crossed. She uncrosses her legs, kind of fucking gives them like a pretty good spread, and then slowly fucking crosses her legs the other way. And in the movie, like all the fucking men like lean in, all fucking sweaty, foreheaded and shit. And you realize she did that shit on purpose because now, their mind was on, are you the killer or not? And now all of a sudden their mind's on Sharon Stone's like nether regions. So it is definitely kind of a sexual movie where you have to kind of go into it with an open mind. Like if sexual content offends you, I don't recommend Basic Instinct. But if you're really just down for like a fucking murder mystery, like suspenseful type movie of like who done it, like what the fuck is going on here, the Basic Instinct, you really can't go wrong. And like I said, it's I want to say it's like set in like California. Let's see here. Michael Douglas stars as Nick Curran, excuse me, a tough but vulnerable detective. Sharon Stone co-stars as Catherine Trammell, a cold, calculating, and beautiful novelist with an insatiable sex appetite. Catherine becomes a prime suspect when her boyfriend is brutally murdered, a crime she had described in her latest novel. But would she be so obvious as to write about a crime she was going to commit? Or is she being set up by a jealous rival? So anyway, definitely recommend it. It's one of those movies that I had not seen it in like fucking 30 years, I guess. Yeah. I was probably a little bit too young when I first saw this movie. And honestly, it's just a fucking great movie. Let's see here. Joe Pesci movie. A couple Joe Pesci movies. We're winding down here. We're almost to the end. Let me know in the comments if you liked any of these movies. I see I've had one viewer this whole time. I appreciate that. But The Super with Joe Pesci, not his greatest work. But I mean, it's a decent movie. There's like a lot of funny parts for sure, but it's not his greatest work. I want to say this was like he was in between like my Cousin Vinny and probably Goodfellas, and I guess I didn't realize that it's a rated R movie. But yeah, he basically, The Super is about his dad is a slumlord, and as a child, he's taught to be a slumlord. You fix nothing, and these people they'll pay and they'll like it until finally like the courts decide you're going to be punished for. He owns a building and like down in the Bronx or somewhere. And this judge decides, you know what? You're going to move into this building and you're going to live there for a year straight and you're going to fix everything or you're going to be fined. But that's the punishment is that you get to live like these people have lived with like rats and like no running water and like, bad electrical sockets and just you name it. So it's definitely a lighthearted comedy. I was kind of surprised to see that on the back that it's rated R. I would have to Google that later, like why exactly was that a rated R movie? I don't remember like excessive amount of cursing. I definitely don't remember any like nudity or people getting murdered. So I'm not really certain how it became a rated R comedy, but although it is Joe Pesci, he does have a propensity to curse, but I mean, who doesn't? I could certainly be. I guess this is a rated R stream. So anyway, Joe Pesci, The Super. Judge sentenced slumlord Louis Christie to 4 months in his own building. He would have been better off in jail. So yeah, and funny enough, the Oh no, I was wrong. I was going to say it was the same girl from My Cousin Vinny, but she's not. Her hair's got that similar look, but it's not the same lady. Let's see. Steve Martin, L.A. Love Story. This was it was just an okay movie. I had never seen this, and I was like excited to watch it because I love Steve Martin movies. But I mean, honestly, it was kind of a fucking weird. It should have been called L.A. Love Story because, like I guess it does say it here. This is the first great comedy of the '90s, and at the bottom it says something funny is happening in L.A. And it's called L.A. Story, and you can see like he's on skates. I mean, he's a pretty funny character in the movie. He plays a weatherman, and so there's like a lot of real lighthearted comedy in the movie. But at its core, it's definitely like one of those love story movies, which a lot of movies in the '90s were like that. And this was 1991. That's kind of a short movie, approximately 98 minutes. But yeah, you can see him roller skating inside of a fucking museum wearing that fucking cap or the, whatever you call that hat. But yeah, he's a wacky weatherman. Yeah, basically his life has changed when he sees this fucking electric freeway sign, and it changes his life. And like I said, it's definitely a love story. There's like quite a bit of comedy going in, but it's another one of those ones that it's like a neutral recommend. I'm like, I just don't know how to feel about it. I don't love it and I don't hate it. And then there was some good parts for sure, and it wasn't totally shitty, but I think because of the like the sign changing his life thing, because the sign, like, it's not just like a one-time deal. Like the sign like is kind of like playing a part in the movie of like, think of like God speaking to you or something. So yeah, he has this life-changing experience with the sign, and it's just kind of a fucking weird movie, but I'm sure he made some money off of it, that's for sure. Let's see here. We'll go left to right now. Gone in 60 Seconds. This is such a great movie with Nicolas Cage, Angelina Jolie, Robert Duvall is in it. If you don't know who Robert Duvall is, he played the cop in Falling Down, where he was going after Kirk Douglas the whole time. But, or was that Michael Douglas? I always get them confused. I think it was Kirk Douglas. I think Michael Douglas was the original. I could be wrong now. Anyway, regardless, Robert Duvall was the cop in Falling Down. And so, Gone in 60 Seconds. Oh, that's a great movie. Nicolas Cage, he used to be a car thief. He got out. Then his little brother becomes a car thief, and he gets in over his head. And now, all of a sudden, Nicolas Cage gets like thrust, back into this like criminal underworld where he has to steal 50 exotic cars, and he only has 24 hours to pull it off. And, the cops are after him, and my God, it's like the most beautiful Mustang ever created. You can kind of see it there a little bit in the picture. But yeah, he called it Eleanor, and can't remember exactly what Mustang that was, but my God, it's just a beautiful car. But yeah, you can see like a car busting through windows and shit. Like that one, they stole it right out of the dealership and just drive it straight through the window. So I definitely recommend Gone in 60 Seconds. It is action-packed. There's like a lot of funny shit that happens in the movie. And if you love cars, I mean, you're going to love Gone in 60 Seconds. So highly recommend that. Let's see. Just a few left to go. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I hope you have seen this. Steve Martin and John Candy, some of their best work. Look at that. Somebody paid $14 originally for this movie. It is open, but that's always cool when you get a movie that's like still got the plastic on it and shit, and a little sticker like how much they paid or whatever. I don't know what's up with the masking tape on the back, but I got this one at a thrift store. It was $1. But yeah, you can see their car catches on fire in this movie. So yeah, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. There's like the classic line of they get stuck sleeping in this hotel room, and there's only one bed, and it's like a fucking twin size or something, double. And it's like two grown men sleeping in the same bed, and they wake up, and they're in this position. You can see here Steve Martin on the left, John Candy on the right. And so they wake up, and fucking John Candy like kisses Steve Martin's ear. And he's like, huh, what? And it fucking looks over. He's like, hey, morning. And he's like, where's your other hand? And he's like, oh, between two pillows. And he's like, those aren't two pillows. Fucking hilarious. But yeah, it's like John Candy just plays like this fucking desperate character where like he just wants a friend. Like he just wants desperately to talk to somebody. And Steve Martin is like a fucking ruthless prick in this movie where basically he fucking hates John Candy. He wants him to shut the fuck up, which John Candy has a problem and can't shut the fuck up. But they need each other, if that makes sense in the movie. Like they're both trying to get home for Thanksgiving. And so like their flight gets rerouted. They end up in the wrong state. The flights are delayed and then canceled. And so they're just trying to get home for Thanksgiving. And god damn, it's a great movie. There's like I said, there's so many funny parts, but probably my favorite part of that is when John Candy catches their car on fire and the motherfucker burns to the ground. And then later on in that movie, they're still driving that same car all burnt up. Fucking hilarious movie. So I highly recommend. I can't recommend Planes, Trains, and Automobiles enough. Let's see. I got another comedy here. My Cousin Vinny. What was this lady's name? Marissa Tomei. In my opinion, like she's very attractive in this movie, and I would be shocked if you found somebody that didn't think that. And then check it out. The kid from fucking Karate Kid is in this, and he's accused of murder, him and his buddy. And it turns out that Vinny is a lawyer, and it says a comedy of trial and error. So yeah, Pesci is a lawyer, but he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the wall in this movie. And it's a great comedy of like him trying to like, they're in like some small town and the judge is just ready to throw the book at the clients, and he's ready to throw he's lost all of his patience with Joe Pesci for the way he acts, the way he dresses, the way he works in court. I mean, just like everything is wrong for a small town because he's from like New York City. So anyway, Marissa Tomei, his girlfriend, she is fucking very wise in that movie, and she helps him out a lot. And between the two of them, they like I said, it's trial and error. Like he starts off as like a fucking really shitty lawyer, and then later on he surprises you like how good of a lawyer he becomes. But in essence, the movie's about the little Karate Kid dude and his buddy. They stop somewhere at some little corner store, and next thing you know, they get accused of murdering the clerk there. And so they're like in prison, and they only know one lawyer. They don't have any money, and yeah, so they end up with My Cousin Vinny, the fucking lawyer. And like I said, he's like the shittiest lawyer that ever was. And it's another one that's like a comedy, but a whodunit, because the whole time you're like, they didn't murder the fucking clerk, did they? So, yeah, that is a classic, My Cousin Vinny. I totally recommend that. Let's see, what else we got here? Let's go right to left. Man in the Iron Mask. I paid $2 for this at a thrift store. And I'd never seen this. This had Leonardo DiCaprio in it. Was it John Malkovich? I don't recognize anybody else in it. That John Malkovich guy, he's been in several movies, typically plays a bad guy. But Leonardo DiCaprio this time is the bad guy. He actually plays like a bad guy and a good guy in this. And so I don't want to spoil it too much, but essentially there is a man in an iron mask that is locked up in this tower, and Leonardo is like the fucking king. And this is like set in France in like medieval times. He's got the fucking musketeers in the background where you've got like the old guard and then like, I guess the new musketeers or whatever that guard is called. I can't remember. And there's like this mystery going on of like, who is this man in the iron mask? And it's right around like the French Revolution. Let's see. For the honor of the crown and the destiny of a country, the world's most renowned musketeers must reunite for one last epic battle. It is a fucking good movie. Talk about so well done and just tastefully done. The time period, the castles, I mean, the clothing, the sword fighting. It's just, I mean, God, it must have cost just $100 million or some shit back in, what was this, that was 1998. So, I mean, likely 150, 200 million. I don't know. It was a really well done movie. And like I said, like the castles, the grounds, everything in these movies is just over the fucking top, where it's just, and I love all this vintage media, just being like submersed in a storyline. It's total escapism. You know, we all go through the daily grind. You work whatever job you have. And it's nice to be able to fucking sit back and watch like a super cool movie, you know, get enveloped in some story and just enjoy it. Let's see. I'll grab 12 Monkeys here. If you've never seen 12 Monkeys, Brad Pitt, Bruce Willis. Oh my God, it's just such a fucked up movie of like, it's another one of those movies where you're left thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it says the future is history. So it's between sanity and madness, fantasy and reality, the past and the future comes an adventure beyond imagination. And that pretty much describes it. Word salad that you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And just look at the images on the back of this movie. I mean, oh my God, it's just a fucking weird movie where Bruce Willis plays a time traveler, and they're trying to stop some fucking like terrorist attack, monkey disease shit that happens in the past and like fucks up the future. And oh my God, it's just a fucking weird movie, but a really good movie. I watched it when I was young, and I just happened to pick it up. It's a rated R movie. I just happened to pick it up somewhere, and all it says I paid $2.50 for it, and I'd fucking pay it again. Let's see, this was a 1995 movie, and kind of a fucking sci-fi a little bit. Let's see, CBS News gave it one of the year's very best films, and back then you could trust CBS to tell you if some movie was good or not. Now I wouldn't fucking watch TV to save my life. Which brings us sadly to our last movie that I've watched recently, and that was Weekend at Bernie's. If you've never seen this, it's about Bernie Lomax, total asshole, piece of shit boss. It says Bernie Lomax would be the perfect host, except for one small thing: he's dead. Yeah, the guys on the left and right there, they're like small timers at this like insurance company or some shit, and they find out, they like unravel like some embezzlement. And the boss, Bernie Lomax, like, before we jump the gun here, he's like, let's do some more investigating, but why don't you guys come out to my mansion over the weekend? I never realized when I was a kid the whole plot is like about them fucking getting murdered in the story. And spoiler alert, Bernie ends up getting fucking murdered instead. And it's like this crazy Weekend at Bernie's where they're like party maniacs and shit, and like, not of their own accord, like people just keep showing up, like beautiful women keep showing up, people keep showing up, like just fucking showing up at Bernie's house to party. And it's a fucking great, it's one of the great 1989, just a fucking comedy classic. Can't recommend Weekend at Bernie's enough. Definitely, that's a 2 thumbs upper, you know. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed the stream. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We're about 83 minutes in. I appreciate. I've got one strong viewer out there, whoever the fuck you are. Got 3 thumbs up. That's a couple comments. That's pretty cool. So give you a little VHS porn here. You can see the wall of the VHSs. And I've got not just those, but I've got like a shitload over here. I've got the boxes, or the bins that you pull out. I've got all those DVDs down there. And so yeah, I totally love watching VHS tapes. Now I've got more over here. You can see a bunch of music VHS tapes. This is super cool. You can't read it down here at the bottom, but I've got Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms on VHS tapes, like a bunch of singles. I've not watched any of these music VHS tapes, but super cool. I'll get to it. So yeah, I've got many, many more movies to get to in the future. You can see that I got the X-Files over here. I've watched most of the X-Files, honestly, but that was an opportunity that I couldn't pass. That like $1 a fucking tape there to get. Oh God, it's like more than the first season of the X-Files. Let's see right here at the top. Recently, I picked up The Sopranos season 1 right there. I paid $5 for The Sopranos season 1 on VHS tape, and I thought that was fucking cool. Recently got Casino. I got Scarface. There's just so many good movies out from this time period. So I definitely love vintage media. It's all a blast from the past. Really can't go wrong. So I highly recommend it. If you get a chance to pick up some movies, pick up a VHS player cheap, get you an HDMI converter for it. It's called an audio video to HDMI converter, and they're like $30 online. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at Walmart in the Omi brand or whatever their Walmart brand is for electronics. And you can start building your own VHS collection for like $1 a tape sometimes, give or take. Like E.T., that's like a $5 movie. Conan, like Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, like that could be upwards of like a $10 movie. Here, I'll pull one out real quick of these music tapes. This one, before I go, Insane Clown Posse. Oh, there we go. Insane Clown Posse, Big Money Hustlers. That's like a fucking $25 tape. Now, mind you, I paid like a fucking quarter for this. But, it's crazy. Like, you can find some super rare VHS tapes, and turns out like they're worth quite a bit of money. So if I ever go to sell it, I will make a decent return on my 25 cents. Well, I say that. I'll probably just fucking trade it for... Knowing me, I'll just trade it for other VHS tapes. But anyway, I hope you guys appreciated the stream. Thanks for joining me. And y'all have a lovely evening. I'm out.